because now it's a pattern. It's become true to them, which I get. It's totally easy to get into that mindset when you're on a hot streak. The hot streak is the gambler's dream. I've been on a few the past couple of years. They quickly go cold. People need hope, even especially gamblers. That's all we're running on is hope and dreams.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the SlotsFan Podcast. We've got another amazing guest today. It's Dan from The Good Life 88. I can't wait to say hello to you, Dan. But first, I really want to urge everyone who isn't already subscribed to Dan to follow the link in our description and check out. And I think you'll be compelled. You don't even need me to tell you to subscribe. Once you see Dan's content, you're going to be hitting that subscribe button. And obviously, while you're at it, if you like slots influencers and the kind of interviews that we do here, please subscribe to our channel too. We come out with a new interview every Thursday. Okay, thank you for sitting through that, Dan. Hey, man, it's so great to see you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me back. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you were one of the slots early interviews when NJ was hosting the show, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, that was a classic time because in our interview, he lives by the airport, so every 5 minutes a little small jet would fly over. So that was always a fun little keep you on your toes moment.
Luckily, he's very charismatic and can talk over even a jet flying by.
The personality on that man is he's pretty unique, which I love. I love different types of people. So
yeah, and hey, this is a perfect chance to plug the interview that'll be going live, or actually it will have already gone live by the time this video comes out. So we just did an interview with NJ. He's back recording, he's back traveling, he got cleared for flying. He said his symptoms are doing great, so we had a bit of a catch up, and by the time Dan this interview goes up, people will be able to check that out on the channel. And it was a really awesome, uplifting experience talking to NJ. He's been through so much over the last year or something, and so happy to see that guy back at it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Actually, me and him text, and he didn't tell me he was doing that interview. So, geez, NJ, come on, keep me in the loop. It's all right. I'll watch it later. I'll watch it later.
I'll be more premiere. We premiere every interview on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's really cool. Tons of influencers and tons of fans come for the premieres, and would love to see everybody there for the premiere. You might just get to chat with a bona fide slots star like Dan, The Good Life 88.
That's me.
So I told you before the show that we're doing this rapid fire interview question thing. It's like a 20 questions. We try to make it different for every influencer. I've thrown in a few questions, especially for you, that I think you'll respond to. And I was hoping to kick this off. So like I said, really fast answers. Yes, no.
And you didn't give me the questions ahead of time, so I'm anxious.
They're all really complicated. Just
no more math questions.
Facts, yeah.
Those really throw me off.
Okay, so here we go. This is 20 slots questions with Dan from The Good Life 88, whose actual name is Dan Goodlife, in case you didn't know.
That's true. Exactly.
Okay, question one. The GOAT slot, the greatest of all time slot.
Oh, and this has to be quick. I mean, first one that pops into my mind that's like OG, it's either Vegas Low Roller or Brian Christopher. They were in the same time frame and people that I was watching.
Okay, funnily enough, that question is later, but I don't mean the greatest slot influencer. I mean the greatest slot machine, greatest slot title of all time.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, no problem.
I mean, for me, it's going to be Buffalo Gold Collection. Second place, Dragon Link. Two of my favorites. I mean, I don't play enough Dragon Link. People want to see me play more Buffalo, but when I do, I've had some really fun sessions where like it makes up for all those bad sessions.
It's funny because the second question before was that I had on here was Buffalo or Dragon Link, but I deleted it because I knew what your answer would be, that it would be Buffalo.
Am I that predictable? Damn it.
Yeah. Well, check. I think you already answered this one, and I was afraid it would happen. But best version of Buffalo ever, and maybe you can give us your top three. Because I know
definitely top three.
Tons, right?
There's dozens, yeah. And you did a nice little article that went through quite a bit of them. I read the other day, so that was kind of fun to see. Not many people have gone through all of them and kind of said when they came out and what they were about. So, I mean, the original Buffalo is pretty fun, or Buffalo Deluxe is pretty old.
Yeah.
And then there's Buffalo, I think it's Stampede. The only one I can find of that is in Vegas at Caesar's Palace. They still have one. I think maybe Lake Tahoe might have had one. I'm not sure if they took it out. So is that 3? No, I feel like that was 3.
One more for good measure.
Maybe a bonus one. One that I love to hate, but I still play it is Buffalo Link. I just it really gives me a tough time. And sometimes there's revivals, and most times it's just a donation where I get a video that is a loser, which I have plenty of. I still post them, but that one, I get so close to the grand and never do it. And I have some friends who are also slot influencers. This guy, Jay Norcal slot guy, he is like the whisperer of certain types, and he does really good on that one. He'll do like $25 bets and hit the grand. He'll be like, yeah, no big deal.
You must be due for a win on that game then. That's how it works, right?
I must be due. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of the flip side, the most overrated slot. And maybe this is something that's popular on YouTube or with influencers or just in the casino that you feel is the most overrated.
Gosh, everybody loves to talk about the new ones. I think I don't want to be specific about certain Huff and Puffs, but I'd say there's so many damn Huff and Puffs right now that, one, it's hard to keep track of, but two, some of them are like, for me, when I played it's just they've converted into a bag game, like Huff and Puff Hard Hat. I don't know if it's overrated, to be quite honest. I think it's rated right about where it should be, which is meh. No offense to Light and Wonder on that one. It just wasn't for me. So yeah, so some of those Huff and Puffs, they're just so cookie cutter. And then for me, as a bonus, I have done really poorly on them. So my experiences are bad, and then to cement it in, nothing happens, and it's a bad game. So I'll chase the hat, it'll pop, I'll get a fifth of what I invested back, and then I'll get up and feel like an idiot. But at least I got entertainment. I was surprised and entertained that I lost. It's very entertaining.
Okay, question 4. The best destination casino resort.
Geez, these are tough, and they're rapid fire, so I have to think fast, which is not my type of thinking.
The first thing that comes to mind. It's like a word association.
For me, Lake Tahoe, like I feel like it's everything I want. Such a great play, like mountains, snow, every season. The casino has a private yacht they'll send me out on. Like it's called the SS Star. Like they just treat me so nice, and I'm going there with the same amount of money I go to Vegas, and I get mediocre treatment, and then I go to my locals, still good treatment, but they don't have a yacht.
What casino?
They have a private jet they want.
Tahoe are you referring to?
Harrah's, and now Caesar's Republic, formerly Harvey's Lake Tahoe.
Right. I've been there, man. Lake Tahoe is so sweet. That's a great pick. It's got the outdoors. It's got super fun kind of locals vibe casinos. People are nice. Yeah, it's sick. Driving there from California is really a beautiful drive.
Yeah, a little bit scary on the 50 right as you get onto the peak. There's a lot of like, you look over and you're like, I'm just glad there's a cement wall there, because otherwise it's pretty far down.
You've got the Rocky Mountains here, so I think we're used to those drives a little bit. Okay, next question. Best loyalty program.
Ooh, I mean, in my personal experience so far, it's actually been Caesar's Entertainment.
Okay.
Just because of the flexibility. I can go to 52 properties around the United States. They let me film at each one if I want to. And not that has anything to do with the loyalty program, but they are semi-loyal to me in some respects. And it's universal. Like I can go to Lake Tahoe. I can go to Reno at Silver Legacy. I can go to Vegas and go to, dozens of different properties and use the same comps, have the same similar hosts treatment, and usually get upgrades and things like that. So it's just so easy. And for me, getting Diamond or Diamond Plus with my gambling rate is not hard. I've got a local Harrah's Northern California near me. It's not a resort though, but it has a couple of nice restaurants. And if you need a little change in your life, it's also a Caesar's Entertainment property. So like everywhere I go, it's like, oh, I can use my card to get the points. I can use them later for something fun and free diamond dinners, and
that's cool.
The perks.
It makes sense to invest in a loyalty program that you actually like to spend time at the properties. And for you, I'm sure like being able to shoot content is a big part of, being able to get the most out of your time.
Absolutely.
At a property. Okay,
I
next
can't
one.
go anywhere without it anymore. Like I've had offers for people to, hey, come join our event, but you can't film after our event ends. So you can only just go live, and then you either have to play and stay with your money that you're supposed to be using to film, or leave. And it's usually kind of hours away from me. And it's like, ugh, I really want to
It would
experience
be
this
worth
cool property.
it'd be worth the time investment on their point to figure out how to let you film, because I feel like you're a great customer. Forget being an influencer. You're a good casino customer with the amount you play.
Yeah,
As
they
are
should
all
really.
influencers who spend money making content.
Right. I'm glad I'm not as big as some of, like NG or Lady Luck in the sense of spending. They tell, at least Lady Luck,
Do you
she
see that
posts
post that
every
Lady Luck
year.
made where she shared her like H1,
Yeah, her
like the first half
losses and
losses of the year?
yeah, and I appreciate that. I don't think I'm there yet. It's not that exciting. Like I basically just lose $50,000 a year gambling, which, sometimes I don't lose at all. Sometimes I win, but overall average, that's about what it is. It's gone up a little bit over the years, just as I have more funds to do such
Yeah, well, I'd say that
crazy
qualifies you as a
shenanigans.
good casino customer that people should try to get into their casinos. So maybe letting influencers film, good business decision for casinos, I'd say.
Yeah, they're a little bit scared of the privacy issues, which I think I address pretty specifically. And whenever I go to a new property that they're worried about like privacy for their other clients or their VIPs, I let them know, like, unless I'm doing a live stream, which I'm still a little careful, which I don't do a lot of live streams. I will, all of my filming, everything's blurred. The people on each side of the machine are blurred. I'm only concentrating on the machine. And then if the background's available and nobody's there, I'll have it unblurred for a
How
little
about
bit.
like we invent a privacy cone? It's just like a tent that goes all around you, and you put it inside. You're in there with the machine. No,
I mean, that would be useful and a little bit odd, but then again, so am I, so I might do it.
privacy cone that's like one-way mirror, so people can see in, but you can't see out, so they can keep an eye on you.
I think it needs to be reversed for me, but not others. I'll just be in the tent and I can see others as they approach, and I'll just keep gambling and pretend I don't see them. It'll actually be more efficient. I do get interrupted quite a bit.
The next question: best slot game developer. You're going to alienate all the others with your answer, but you need to pick one.
No, definitely Aristocrat. I mean, that was pretty quick.
Nice.
They may not ever like respond to my tweets or Instagram tags, but I still love them.
This will be the interview clip that gets you in with Aristocrat, I'm sure.
Oh, you know what? Do it. I can't wait to go tour their facility in Vegas, have the invite. They'll be excited. All I'm about is Buffalo and most of their Buffalo games.
I mean, you're like Mr. Buffalo. You should be the spokesperson for the Buffalo franchise.
It's a Buffalo Prince. I'm royalty, but I'm not at the top, which I actually like my position. Less responsibility, still the title.
Less likely to be
assassinated. How can you argue with that, right? Still get Buffalo checks.
Favorite slot influencer? You had a kind of a...
Okay. Well, so favorite, not necessarily the OG or things like that.
Yeah, just your personal favorite, and not at the expense of all others, but just someone that right now maybe has your attention, or you think is doing something innovative or something special.
Okay. Well, I've got people I've never met and some people that are kind of closer friends. So maybe I'll try to cheat on this one and give you two. The first one would be probably on Instagram, less on YouTube, but they're doing all the platforms, is Crow Slots. They've been working at it on the show.
You've been under,
yeah,
they're still great.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed, I talk to them all the time and we kind of bounce ideas off each other and, give feedback and things like that. But I like what they're doing with their content. Some of the stuff, their reels they're posting, they're trying new things. And when they see results, they'll kind of lean into them more. Very interactive. I feel like, if I wasn't their friend, I would feel very much, interacted with, in the sense of like they talk to all of their audience.
Yeah, super relatable.
They don't care. They're just happy you're there. They're hanging out. Sometimes they'll do big bets, some flow bets. Sometimes you'll do the cray little tiny bets and get a big win. So I think they've got some good stuff, and their collaborations with other casinos, they're doing way better than I am. Not that I'm comparing tit for tat, but I do look at it and I go, damn, they're doing good for them. Like, Ellis Island has pictures of them and QR codes where you can scan it and like go to their channel, and they're on their
I think
favorite
everyone should
machine,
be,
so
all the properties should be doing that.
it would be a wise idea. It's free promotion pretty much. I mean, all you have to do is check that the channel is not some sort of off-brand, weird, I don't know, satanic cult worshipping person,
or even
because
like
that would be bad.
degenerate, like bad, irresponsible gambling type stuff. It could be a flag, but I feel like the flip side is such a big opportunity where for RG stuff, influencers are such a great way to communicate with players in an authentic way. And people like you are often the most knowledgeable about this stuff from real experience. And you also care, from my experience at least, people care about the safety of their fans and gamblers in general. So I feel like there's a big opportunity there for all kinds of gambling brands.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely care about my fans. Like, they're the ones that made any of what I'm doing possible. If they weren't there, I'd just be some guy posting videos with 0 views. Sounds a little sad for me as I look back,
Until you
because
hear
that's
another
exactly
question
where
I
I
have for you
started.
in a little bit, and it'll be reminiscent of that. Okay.
Okay.
That's your favorite Crow Slots?
Yeah, I could give you some others that I don't know or haven't met. There's been many people that I've met, like big channels like Mr. Handpay or NG, or, they're all very nice. We haven't had much personal time, so I couldn't say on a personal level, like, that we've had, a
Sure.
lot of like cocktails and drinks and chatting.
Crow Slots, I was just going to say, is less well known than some of those names that you mentioned,
Certainly.
and totally deserving of everyone checking out their channel. You can find them on the rankings on SlotsFan, or just you search on YouTube and you'll totally find them, and really worth a watch.
And
They're really
even
great.
more easily findable, actually, they're pretty popular on Instagram.
Okay.
So I think they're 40,000 followers right now. I mean, that's
nice.
pretty good. Like,
That's huge
they get,
for Slots
yeah,
Instagram.
their reels and stuff are getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. Like, it's worthy of a head nod and a
tip of the hat.
tip. Yes.
Nice. Okay. I love that shout out. The next question: classic 3-reel machines or new video slots?
Well, so for my channel, I don't really play a lot of the classic 3-reel. I found that for me, like, they just don't do very well. My audience that seems to be built mostly on Buffalo and Dragon Link, they want Buffalo and Dragon Link and Huff and Puff. That's like the magical triangle of 3. Maybe you could even add in a Mummy or so in there, but that's less. It's definitely Buffalo.
Has anyone ever gone
Dragons.
backwards and made like a 3-reel Buffalo or a 3-reel, themed one of a video slot franchise?
They definitely have I think it's a 5-reel Buffalo, and it's got like, it's very brightly lit in the background. It's like Buffalo something. Of course, they're all Buffalo something, but this one's like, it's a 5-reel, as I recall, and you can hit like $1,000, and there's some other like bonus wheels on the 5th that you have to line up. So I guess they've done it. It's not very popular. I've only seen, I think Creighton had one at one point, and they've taken it out since, or put it in storage at least.
Okay.
So
maybe not a winning formula there.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit, the toothpaste is out of the tube. Like, the new modern ones are so much more interactive. Even when you're losing, you feel like the potential of like a random your luck has arrived moment can happen at any second. With the reels, after you press the button, there's a little anticipation, but pretty much after the first reel, if it's a nothing, the other 2 reels
It's a
are a
different
waste of
experience
time.
for sure.
Yeah, so it's different. But that being said, as a person who has been gambling most of his legal adult gambling age of life, I really love the reels, like 3-reel, 5-reel, even 7, even though they treat me horribly. It's just fun to try the old school way. And it's not even old school. It's not, like coins or anything, but it brings me back to a time where I would just like, you'd be able to get less volatility and more pressing of the button, but at the cost of a little less entertainment value. Like the graphics, there's no special, like once in a while you get a special sound, but it's mostly beep, beep, boop, bop, and then a little bit of the bell dinging if you hit a hand pay. So unless you have an appetite for something that's a little slower and you're trying to grind out $100 for, say, a half hour versus, you put 100 in Huff and Puff, even if you're doing $2 spins, you could be done in like 3 minutes pretty quick if just nothing happens. And I've sat down and that's happened plenty of times.
There's something like you mentioned the difference in like entertainment and interactivity. I feel like the classic slots are a bit more of like a pure gamble, like feedback, all like just there's not much else to it except like what's the result really fast. The lower volatility is interesting, but I kind of like to me, it's fun because you could actually, with $100, you could do $10 bets on some of these machines, and not like it's like it may go really badly, but you have a way better chance of actually doing something with a higher bet size and a smaller bankroll with some of these lower volatility games. Whereas like Huff and Puff, like you said, $100 even on $1 bets is like you're going to get rinsed pretty quickly a lot of the time.
Yeah, you got to hope the wolf blows or the things shake, and all the things that you're anticipating almost the entire time. So like I get it. People are locked in a moment of anticipation the whole time, and those anticipation spins are half of what makes gambling fun, is the unknown about to appear, and all of a sudden you're a big winner or a loser. So if every spin is like that, like it's genius software writing, I think, but at the cost of high volatility. So I've had some great runs and some horrible runs.
High volatility or low volatility games?
I mean, I play Buffalo, and I feel like it's high volatility because you can just get a bonus, get $2, and then have to spend another $300 to get another bonus. But I like it, and I think my audience likes it too.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to please them while
also high volatility. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hold and win or traditional free spins for bonus style?
You mean the hold and spin type of feature?
Spin, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, okay. Well, I like Dragon Link for that reason, to see if you get the 3 symbols, you can still get the hold and spin in the bonus in the bonus, or feature in the feature, as the Vegas sisters would say. Yeah, there's something to that hold and spin that I like better than the bonus, not necessarily because of its features or whatever, except for the one main thing. I can see exactly what I have just won. It's guaranteed at that bare minimum. I'm going to get that. With the bonus, you get the bonus trigger, which is usually like 4 or 5 times your original bet. And then after that, you could be getting nothing could happen. And so a bonus, I feel like it's perfect if you're getting a machine that's hot and you're getting a bunch of bonuses and it's giving you some payback, 10, 20, 50 times your bet. But it's with the high volatility, it's hard to find a machine that's hot. I'm air quoting because that's not the thing, but
results-oriented.
Feels hot based on our human psychology. We think it's hot, and so it'll be giving bonuses randomly here and there, and it'll feel good even if they're small bonuses. It keeps you in the action.
That's like the truly super high volatility when it's hard to get a bonus, and then also you might just get nothing for the bonus so much of the time. Like it's tough.
It can kick you when you're down too. I've had last spin, like $0 left, lucky chance. I press the button, it gives me the bonus, and then the bonus is just a failure, and it's usually where I'll end the video because I'm frustrated. Luckily it tends to be good timing in the sense of I've been playing for 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm like, you know what, that's enough.
Hey, that's a good reason to
is
take
too
a
much.
break, for sure.
Cocktails in the room, or go up the suite, take a nap sometimes. Like
living the good life.
I'm trying to. The good life is very costly on my my sleep schedule. I'll say that. There's a lot to do.
I know that you work very hard, as do all influencers in all different spaces who are doing this at the level you're doing it at. It's like people may not understand the amount of work and the emotional ups and downs and everything else that goes into it. So I have a small window into that working with.
Okay. Are we done with the rapid fire? I can't tell.
No, not yet.
Okay, keep going.
This hasn't been the most
supposed to be rapid. I'm not letting
ever, but hey, it's interesting questions.
I am slowing it down by being a chatty Cathy. But,
you do your thing. Okay. Yeah. Most common question you get asked in chat.
Ooh, I mean, there's a going joke of somebody who says, "Is this live?" when I'm live. I always find it funny. It's stupid, but that's one of the more common ones, aside from "Where are you?" Even though I usually post it and I say it a bunch of times. I think that's the more common one, is "Where are you?" And I go, "Well, I'm at this casino." And they go, "Okay." So it's usually just people who are just, don't have the time to read. Too long didn't read.
Okay, next question. Most common casino myth people try to convince you is true.
Oh gosh, it's often I'll have fans who will also come up to me and give me their strategy, and I'm happy to listen because I'm curious type of person where I'd like to know what other people are thinking, in the sense of gambling at least. And I had a very nice lady. I was at Hard Rock at a bar, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I know you, I've seen you." I'm like, "Oh cool." She's like, "Every time I come here I win." And I go, "Do you now?" And she's like, yeah,
Plausible.
I just come in, I only have 100, and I just come in, I gamble, and I walk out always with the profit. And I go, how do you do that? And she goes, it's just, I pick the right ones. And I go, just give it time. Give it time. You'll pick the wrong
So the
ones.
myth that you can pick the right machine, you can pick a winning
You
machine
can pick the
somehow.
right machine. It's just happened to them so many times because now it's a pattern. It's become true to them, which I get. It's totally easy to get into that mindset when you're on a hot streak. The hot streak is the gambler's dream. I've been on a few the past couple of years. They quickly go cold. But some of them have been stretched out over like a period. For me, the amount of gambling I do, 3-week period, that's actually a lot of gambling. And if it's hot the whole time, like I'll get like triple the amount of videos I have because it's just everything I sit down. I'm making money. I'm spending it again, but it's coming right back. It's
Glorious when that happens.
It's glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know from experience that the cold streaks are more frequent and longer in general, which make the hot streaks so much more special, I think.
It's something you can't buy even if you're trying to. It just has
I
to
just
come.
know from experience when someone says like they won a bunch of money at the casino, I immediately in my head, I'm like, that guy lost a lot of money at the casino. Like it's just like someone's like, oh, forget
It's a
about it.
natural. I think that's a natural truth to most of it. If you're not like I have a sister that's older. She doesn't gamble, but I've been to like there's a local Cache Creek years ago when I used to go there. They don't allow me to film, so I don't go. But when I used to go before filming was a priority, I love the property, and I would bribe her with like $20. I'd be like, hey, come with me and your friend. It'll be fun for the night. We'll get free drinks, and here's $20. Gamble it. And so she'll sit down and like Wheel of Fortune and do $1.25 spins, and just totally be upset about it the whole time and be like, look, it's taking the money. You should have just used this for something. I'm like, no, wait till something happens. So one time she got a bonus and it was like $100 or something. And I'm like, are you going to keep going? She goes, nope. And puts it in her pocket. And that was it for the night. And I was like, well, some people have more self-control than others.
Fair enough. Luckily for the casino industry, most people don't have all the self-control in the world.
It's something they can rely upon. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we still got a few more to get through, so I appreciate you bearing with me here.
Of course, I'm going slow as a snail with my answers. I apologize.
No, I like it. Question 13: most annoying slot player behavior in the casino.
First thing is definitely the screen bangers. They're hitting the machine on the screen and tapping, like not just a little tap, like I hope the bonus comes. They're making noise and hitting it, and they're like borderline going to break it. Right below them is the hard-handed button slappers. They're just obnoxious. The slappers. You don't see them or hear them as much in my videos. I will, if I hear it too much, if I can, get up and move to another machine that's just a little further away. I can't control it. The people hitting the screens, sometimes I'll like if I see a slot attendant go by, I go, are they okay? And they'll go over and kind of tell them like, hey, if you break the machine, it's probably going to be $10,000 or maybe $20,000. These screens are high definition, probably 4K, 8K, 60 frame a second curved screens that are touch. I mean, I just hear dollar signs and I think, no, I don't want to break that. And the casino might not let you back because you're destroying
you
their
see broken
stuff.
machines sometimes. I feel like people put an ashtray or a bottle through it or something like that when they get really upset.
There's plenty of clips on the internet showing people throwing chairs at the screens. And I think, what did the machine do? I mean, you should just write a strongly worded letter to the CEO or the tribal chairman of the casino and be like, your machine took my money. I mean, that might get you further in the sense of like they might throw you a bone and be like, they wrote a letter, they didn't destroy the machine. Give them $100 in a free play.
Gets you banned from the property, and then you probably shouldn't be there if that's how you're behaving at a game. Probably a good idea for you not to be in the casino anymore.
It's not the most mature reaction in the sense of like if you're breaking things with chairs. If you're hitting it really hard, I think just, maybe they've been in an environment at certain casinos where people are a bit more rowdy. Each casino, each resort has its own kind of vibe to it. I go to a Grayton. I feel like it's very higher class, Vegas-esque vibe, and they have more security, lots more people walking around, and they will stop you if you're doing something dumb. Other places that I'll say one that I don't go to anymore. It's an okay place. It's called San Pablo Lytton Casino. It's a level 2 slot gaming stuff. So it's all basically not my thing, but it's It's not in the best part of town. People will follow you out if you see you're a big winner, and they don't have much security, so I don't go anymore. But
But you
I
can hit
noticed
the
there's a
screen
lot of
really hard
people
if you
hitting the
want.
screen. Yeah, they don't care if you're hitting the screen as long as you're not breaking it. Like the whole pounding thing and yelling real loud, they're into that. So some places will teach other people to do that, and they'll go to another casino thinking, "Well, I did it over here. Why can't I do it over here?" I
You've
mean,
got
and it
screen pounders, top, neck under them, button slappers. Are there any other levels to the hierarchy of annoying slot player behavior?
absolutely. There's one more. It's the can I have some moneyers?
Mm,
I I usually tell them the same thing. I give three people money: the IRS, the casino, and my wife. I don't have time for anything else. I don't have enough money for anything else, quite frankly.
yeah, I mean, I can understand why people they go to a casino. There's a lot of money flying around, so I can see how that
Absolutely.
might happen.
Well, I mean, NG had 50 grand stolen from him at a unnamed casino at one
Okay.
point, and they had to track it down. Some guy had stolen his pin, and people
Oh, wow.
will follow you and watch you. And I have plenty of people who follow and watch. Most of them are fans. Some of them are not. And I have my backup plans for security where hopefully I don't ever have to use them, and people will just leave me alone in the sense of trying to steal my money. With NG, I think it was sneaky. It wasn't like face to face. It
Got
was
hacked or
stealing
something.
his pin. No, he pressed his pin in a live, and he uses the same one all the
Oh,
time. I
okay.
forget. It's his favorite something.
So someone
It's
took his
probably
card off them and
1942 is probably the pin.
used the pin. Wow.
Favorite tequila. Yeah, and so was able to go and I guess find a copy of his card or something, and was able to withdraw a transfer. And then they found the guy, and I saw the picture. The guy looked like he had fallen down some stairs accidentally. I hope he's okay.
Well, yeah, bad things happen to people who steal money from people, I would say.
Yeah, F around and find out. So, I mean, so there's definitely those people where most of them are honestly just more gamblers who are run out of money and have taken that extra step to start getting to the level where I think it's a line crosser for me. Like when I'm out of money, I'm not begging for money from people. I think that's your sign. Like it's time to go home. If you don't have money to go home, they have free buses. They'll take you in that
Yeah, I
direction.
mean, you have
Get
to
back
think
to where you can
people.
make more money and come back when you have it. Because otherwise, like even for me, I've run out of money and certain budgets have just been expended, and I just go, well, I'll just stop. And then the next day, maybe I'll consider it, or, I'll have some free play. I'll be like, okay, I'll use that. If I make some money, great. I'll take them to leave. I'm already down. So let's just see what we can do. And,
Yeah,
I think it's a bit not certainly socially not really acceptable to do in a casino. It's the worst
yeah. I
place because
mean,
I feel
I
like
think problem gambling is a real risk, and people have all kinds of challenges with it, like so many other things.
absolutely.
And I'm sure people like that have a lot of bigger challenges in their life that
Oh,
are
absolutely. Yeah.
trying to.
Things that I'm not aware of, I'm sure. And that's why
Yeah,
I don't hate them. I just dislike the interaction. Most of the time I'm filming. So it's also like I'll tend to edit it out if it's a negative interaction. But if it's funny, or I had a lady who came up and I was just getting triple sunsets or something. So I couldn't edit it out because it's really hard to edit out such a cool thing. And then the lady's like, "Hey, do you have $1?" And I'm like, "You ruined asking my video just for $1." So I was like, "Nope." But I forget what I said. It was a little bit snappy. But at a certain point, like you can only get asked so many times. And then I watched her walk away from me and go harass another person who's not a YouTuber, just a random patron. And I'm like, that's why they're on the list: the slappers, the screen hitters, and of course the money askers.
okay. Next one. We kind of touched on this already. Which is worse, playing for a long time and just nothing happening, or hitting a bonus and barely getting anything back?
Oh, playing for a long time and nothing happening. A
Okay.
bonus, I can do something with a bonus, at least from a creator standpoint. Like the packaging
Some
can
like
be something like,
anticipation
"Hey, I hit a
happening.
bonus. Cool." If I have a video where I don't hit a bonus, I will either save it for something down the road where maybe it happens to be something coincidental that was funny happened in the video, but it's mostly boring. I'll use it in some other video. I tend to not delete them because I've paid for this product that I filmed. I feel like it's a waste if you just delete it. So I'm out there posting loser videos all the time. I'm a big loser, uh, but I'm having a good time. I'm very entertained. That's what I always go through.
Well,
People say, "What are you
you're
doing with
like
your
a
money?" I go,
good slot machine.
"Entertainment."
You're like a good slot machine. You can have fun even when you're not winning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty flexible, and I know what I'm there for. And when I bring my money in, it's to lose it it's the only place where I can lose money, but possibly win a bunch of money back.
Or at least lose it in style with a good attitude.
Yeah, and you get some comps. You get a free meal for your $1,000. I mean, there are some perks, but you have to already know that you're planning to lose.
I think that's such a great message, and kind of as long as you have a set budget and you're okay to lose it and you don't exceed it, then anything goes. And you can, if you win a bunch, you can decide to have fun with it if you want, as long as you stick to your original budget.
That's a tough one to do for most people, though. That's the problem. Money management. Yeah.
I don't know if I have one like that on the list, but let's see. Okay, next one. Would you rather become a huge slots YouTube star, but have absolutely terrible luck on slots, however that's possible, or never get another view or subscriber, but run like God every time you play slots?
I mean, I like money.
Do you
So
like
I
fame?
feel-
Do you like stardom?
That's not why I started this. So no, I would take I feel like every gambler would do this, even though I've got.
But you get
some
money from being a
success on
YouTube star, so you're still going to be rich in either case.
Yeah, but then the fun of gambling might not be there anymore, and that's the whole reason I'm doing this, is because it's fun. If it was
fun, be there if you won every time.
That's like there's a Twilight Show episode. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, okay. It's basically the gambler who wishes he could win every time and plays roulette. And sure enough, he actually gets his wish and he goes into the casino. Every time he hits, he wins. He puts 1,000 on it, wins. It just hits the ball times 35. Blah, 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 blah. So he's got all the money in the world and he realizes he's bored.
Yeah.
There's no more excitement. How can you?
I feel like you're going to get picked up by like either the CIA or like an organized crime syndicate if you win like that. If people are going to want to know
or just
what's
the
going
casino
on.
being like, look, sir. But in
what
this,
you're
of course,
doing.
Twilight Zone, it's anything goes. But yeah, so that I always think of that and think, wow, like that's a tough decision. But I'm going with the big winner cash wise.
It doesn't mean you have
like
to win every time, but you're on a never ending heater.
Yeah, because even on my heaters, there's losing in there. It's followed by big wins, which is
pretty
the best
fun.
part about a heater.
It seems like it would be fun, at least. Who knows?
Yeah, but I feel greedy by choosing that, and then guilty, the double G's, because of course my audience would be like, he posts videos, but I'm the only one. There's only one view. It's me. And
you can never get another view or subscriber for some reason.
They're not the most important thing in my life. People, gambling, good drinks, cocktails, good meals, somewhere in that range. Buffalo Wife, of course, but we're talking about gambling, not personal.
Okay, next question. This is actually related to what we were talking about. When you hit big, how much is going back into the machines that day for you? What's your usual?
Well, what's hit big? I mean,
$10,000.
Okay, yeah. Probably 4.
Okay.
I'd say, in the name of videos, in the name of content.
Okay.
Not in the name of chasing. I actually, after a big win, I take quite a few breaks. I go up to my room. I decide, like, should I make a bank trip to go get the cash out of my room? Because I just don't feel comfortable having that much room, like money, even in a safe.
Take a check?
Yeah. Depending on the hot streak, if that's going on, or just one lucky moment. If it's bigger than $5,000, I tend to take a check for, say, half of it and then have half cash. If it's bigger than 10, which I've only had really 2 or 3 times, I'll get a check for the majority, depending on how I've been doing that day. If I have cash in my pocket, I don't need any more. I'll just take in the check and then I'll just go deposit it via mobile app. And then that's it. Then it's out of my hair and I'm like, cool.
Yeah, that's
nice little 5-day hold on that check.
That's a good call to just do it right away, because you can obviously return the check and get more money if you want to, which happens.
Some casinos do that, some don't. They have a thing about, because they don't want to enable you to use them as basically a little transfer. I've had people tell me
that has happened before. I'm like, oh, you got
you
check
can do
right
it certain ones.
Yeah, but
it's absolutely possible. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Grayton doesn't do that, but that's just one casino in the Bay Area. Maybe other casinos like Yamava or any Caesars or Vegas, maybe they do that. I wouldn't be surprised. It would be good for them, but at the same time, I could see how people could maybe start doing check changes, or just trying,
or say
wasting a bunch of employee time.
You enabled me to lose more than I was trying to, or something like that.
Right. So leave it to the world to be controlled by lawyers. Somebody probably sued somebody one time at a casino, and there was some sort of decision made, and they said, well, for our company, we're just going to play it safe, and we're not going to do that. You can have your check once. Yeah. And now I know for sure if you lose the check, they will replace it as long as it hasn't been cashed by you.
That's good. Okay, next question. What about tipping on jackpots? Yes or no? And if yes, how much?
Definitely yes. How much depends on my bet amount. Like an example, if you're doing $100 bet, you win $1,200. That's 12 spins. I'm probably going to give you a 20. If on the other hand, I'm doing $5 spins and I win 3,000, you're probably getting 100. Mostly because I know a lot of these slot attendants that I go to locally. I do it universally, but I probably tip heavier for the ones that I'm more familiar with. They know my name. They don't even ask for an ID anymore. They know who I am. I'm in the system. They quickly get my info, quickly get me paid. And, a lot of them, are conversational too. Like they have lives and it's kind of fun to talk to them what they do all day, or like the night shift people have great stories that, I'm not saying you have to tip them for a good story, but if you do, and then you ask for what's your best story on night shift, things that I wouldn't disclose publicly, but the stories are great. I mean, the people that they interact with are all varieties and all types, and they've all can be super weird or super generous or super cool or super mean. And I love to hear about that. I mean, I don't love to hear them having to deal with people like that, but I do like the stories, like a little goss.
Is it like standard? Is it standard in the gambling community to tip on big wins?
I think there's a social shame thing online, at least, that if you're not tipping, that you're a bad person or you don't care about the employees or people who work, which I sort of agree with partially, but everybody's coming from a different position in life and financially, especially.
Yeah. They're like,
you'll see a lot of YouTube
about the 20 grand that I've lost in the last few weeks, and now I'm getting part of it back, and now I got to give it back to you.
Right. And so that's the type of thing where it's hard to know. I think I've seen some of the bigger channels, they get $100,000 payout. They probably feel obligated to not only give the $1,000, which is still, it's a lot of money for a person filling out paperwork, which is technically their job.
Yeah.
That's what they're being paid to do. But at the same time, it's like, well, are they tipping more? Are they tipping less? Should I tip more? Should I tip less? I don't want to be shamed publicly.
Yeah.
Heavens me if I don't tip someone.
Do you ever feel pressure, like in the moment there, like someone's trying to say like it's standard or you should do it, or motivating you to do it?
No, I'm pretty good about people trying to influence me, oddly enough. Most decisions in my life I've made because I've thought about them and they're going to be best for me. It's something that is good to have in your toolkit. I haven't always had that, but like I've decided what I'm going to tip usually when they're filling out the paperwork and based on our interaction. So when they're getting the paperwork and how quickly they come, obviously it could be a busy night, so I'm not judging harshly on that. But, if they're super nice or they already know me, okay, maybe I'm giving, on a $1,200, maybe I'll give them $40. It's still good.
Feels good to tip people, especially if you know
Absolutely.
Them. It's great to share the win with people. It can make you feel better.
Gratuity is great karma. Not that I particularly believe in it, but I like to say the word because it's fun. And it's just like tipping the lady at your coffee shop for making a really good custom thing with your name on the top. Like, okay, like you get a couple extra bucks, well, they're good. And, not all of these people, even though they're getting paid to do this job, their baseline, similar to waitresses, sometimes is not very high. So sure, they're filling out paperwork and this is their job, but they're probably only making 15, 20 bucks an hour. And nowadays,
and it can make
that's not as much as it used to be.
Tangible difference in their life, maybe more so.
Right. It all adds up for them. So I think there is pressure. Luckily for me, I don't feel it. I'd say most slot attendants that have ever interacted with me, I think there's only been one or two I didn't tip, and it was either because my bet was so high and the hand pay was so low, it was just a minimum threshold, that I was just like, no, and I was down for the day, and I was like, no, I need that extra hundo, like I need that extra 20, like I'm trying to make content here, and it can't all be at such a cost. I mean, the back end of the channel is even worse, having taxes and paying taxes on taxes. I mean, there's just so many ways to, like, I get money, obviously, from ad revenue from YouTube and other sources. It's all getting taxed. It's just, so harshly. And it's like, and the more hand pays you get in a year, the W-2Gs, that raises, it's complicated. It raises your annual income. And so your tax rate overall, even though you didn't actually use that money, you lost it back, you're still getting taxed so harshly. Anyway, so there, all of these things are something I consider, running a slot channel, that you have to keep money management in mind, not just in the moment when you're gambling and losing your ass, but also later when you're tipping, and also later when you're spending on, an upgrade to a suite. Do I have enough money?
Yeah.
It's something that I think all of us have to think about, even the big channels.
That's
Do I have enough money? Yeah.
I started out in poker, in like poker media, and the amount of pressure that winners would get put under in the moment to tip, like when they're winning big, like $1 million prize or something.
Right.
Pretty brutal, man. Like they send you on a guilt trip in the moment to try to get you to tip. And like,
who's guilt tripping? The employees or the
fellow
like
the
poker
tournament
players?
staff? Like they would, because they'll tell you that it's like split up among the dealers and the staff, and they need it.
Right,
and it's like really bad form and like all this stuff. And people are just like, listen, pal, like I don't, I'll choose.
Yeah, I guess it really depends. I mean, I'll be tipping, but I mean, like even 1% of $1 million is still, I think
I'm
that's
telling you, man,
it's
these
too much.
people tip huge in poker tournaments, and
Right.
1% doesn't seem like, anyway, but that's nice to hear that.
Who am I to tell them what to do with their money? If they want to tip, great. I don't like the pressure thing. And that tends to backfire with me, at least. When people do pressure me, I will dig deeper the other way and be like, you know what? You don't have to mention it. And the way you mentioned it was not, either
Like, that's
it's
bad
disrespectful or coming off as like, I'll make you feel guilty, or I'll shame you, or I know you have a YouTube channel, I'll rat you out to people, and then I'll post that you don't tip. And it's like, if you want to do that, but just remember, I'm recording every moment we're standing here. So I got the audio on every conversation if they wanted to be a jerk, but they're not. Luckily, I'm already tipping them anyway. So nobody's going into that zone. But, like I'm sitting there and filming, and they come up and they talk. If they were to say like, you better tip or I'll try to get you and blackmail you, it's like, good luck. I don't know. I'm a degenerate gambler. What are you going to blackmail me for? He gambles too much and he drinks and
I already tell people all
talks
that
about
stuff.
Buffalo weird stuff and animated characters he's in love with. Oh yeah, I'm real worried. People are going to think I'm weird.
Already know.
It's too late.
Okay, Dan, we're so close. We've got 3 more questions.
So the slowest rapid fire I've
Let's
ever
just say
done.
it's not rapid fire. It's just a regular interview, as it turns out.
Good.
This is just a regular interview question situation here. Next one. If you had the choice, free play or room and food comps in terms of the loyalty program?
Okay. It's tough for me because I almost always, anywhere I go, get free room and comps. The free play is where I want more of because, of course, it relates to me gambling. So I'm just going to say free play because I'm spoiled and I already have the free room and comps. Now, if I didn't have those, this is for funsies here, I would probably take the room and the comps just because that's easier on the initial end, where you don't have to spend, like some of these places for a room. They'll charge you $500 a night if you don't gamble and just want to stay there for a conference or something.
Yeah, totally.
And people will pay it, and I've seen them pay it, and they take the money, and everybody's happy. And I'm like, I'll take the comp and then use that $500 to go gamble. So
yeah, I hear that. I feel like in practice that turns into people getting like quote unquote free hotel rooms for like $1,000 or $2,000 at the end of the trip, and they're like,
yeah, of course,
the free room. But in theory,
for a slot channel. For a slot channel, my mindset is different, and I'm running technically a business here, even though it's not always perfect. Like those types of thoughts are, I'm already going to go and spend a set amount of money. So why wouldn't I want something to be comped? Let me have an extra $500 available to me, and then I'll use that and possibly win more, or at the very least, just get more content of me gambling on Buffalo. People seem to also really just have a thirst for it.
After you've been paying for stuff and paying for hotel rooms, it's really nice to get a free hotel room and free buffet and stuff like that. It feels good.
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. Absolutely. Yeah. It's one of those things. It's a little bit of a trick psychologically where, anything free, it's like going to Costco and you're paying for a membership, but they have free samples.
I love those. Okay.
Yeah.
We're almost there. One thing you learned that you wish you had known sooner.
Oh, I say this one pretty often now. My thumbnails needed to be higher definition. I was using kind of blurry images when I first started, at least. And the titles need to be better, more well thought. Like I need to spend more time on my titles. So I've started to do that more. And I've seen some pretty good results. I don't know if it's just coincidence. I don't know. I've been doing it for almost 5 years now, and I feel like I'm just starting to get that almost 10,000 hours of experience of at least creating videos that are reasonably successful.
Your channel is doing great, man. It's so awesome to see all the success that you're having on the channel. And I've been lucky to talk to so many influencers, and I feel like nothing can. You can't learn this stuff at the level that you guys are, just being totally immersed in it and it being tied to your livelihood. Like it's hard to meet someone who isn't a creator themselves that has that kind of level of knowledge. So I would say, and like the thumbnail and title has got to be almost as important as the actual video itself in terms of the results that you're going to get. So I would totally imagine there's a connection there.
Yeah. Well, as Mr. Beast says in his interviews, if you don't get the click, they're never going to watch the video, no matter how good the video is. You could have a video that's the best video in the world, like once you watch it. But if the thumbnail's crappy, some people might if they know you and you have a good following. But if you're just some random person who posts an awesome video that has a bad thumbnail and title,
it's probably going to tank. Metric is so powerful for YouTube.
Yeah, and the amount of, and the watch time, but once they have to get to that, so just clicking on it is the biggest battle. And if you have a bad word salad on there and some pictures that are just not describing what the words are, or, it's a whole packaging thing that that's something I would tell every creator or anybody, even on YouTube. Doesn't have to be Slots. Just concentrate on that initially and follow up. Don't be too clickbaity, but make it intriguing and try to have them close that loop where they're trying to figure out what you're doing, and they're interested enough where they want to close the loop of knowledge of he said he's doing this. I wonder what that is. Let me see. That's all I'm trying to do. I want people to be intrigued and then satisfied once they watch the whole video. So I try to get as many people happy as possible. Some people not happy, but
I think it's working. I mean, your content and your personality is really unique in the space. There's so much diversity in terms of the kinds of people and the kinds of content out there.
Yeah.
You're a really good example of a really unique channel, and
Thank you.
Yeah, really stand out. And related to that, this is save the hardest question for last. Should people subscribe to the Good Life 88 and SlotsFan?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a trick question. Absolutely, yes. If they haven't, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
You know what disappointed me, Buffalo Prince.
Your channel is so much fun, and for people that aren't familiar with it, you're going to see a lot of stuff that you don't see on other channels in terms of the creativity and the production effort and production value that goes into a lot of Dan's content. I know that you've had a background in entertainment before you got into this, and I think that really shines through. And I've seen some of your really funny casino tour videos from a while ago. And yeah, man, if you guys haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and check out Dan's channel. It's really funny stuff, and obviously tons of awesome slots content.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and thank you for subscribing, future subscribers.
I have some follow-up questions.
Sure, go ahead.
That turned into a really robust rapid-fire interview, so thank you for that.
The hour-long rapid fire of 5 questions. Yes, we did real good there. I'm going to take some notes for my future improvement. Maybe I'll stop ranting a little bit.
Speaking of things that people like to click on in thumbnails and titles, one thing that we get a lot of engagement with are casino myths, misconceptions, things like this, things the casino doesn't want you to know. People seem really interested in. I really believe people like you that have spent so much time in casinos, not partying the whole time, but rather being aware of what's going on. You know the most about this stuff, and I'm curious if anything stands out to you. Are there things that the casino doesn't want you to know, or things that the casino would prefer for you not to really understand? And are there things out there that people may be unaware of or have the wrong idea about?
Gosh, that's probably a handful of things. I mean, the first thing I think of is AP, which is advanced play or advantage play. There are certain games that the casino, they have them, but they don't want you to scout them out specifically and circle them like a hawk, because potentially you could win a bunch of money with very little investment. I'm not saying they're hiding them, but I do know that certain casinos in, say, I guess Vegas does it a little bit. If you're going around and following the must hit buys too closely, or going to like Buffalo Gold, Buffalo Ascension, you can go and get a little slight edge by checking out which ones have expanded reels already, which doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a big winner, but it can give you an advantage because it's already been built up and hasn't
The
popped.
machine's in a positive EV state.
Right,
By
as
a
opposed
tiny
to the
bit, maybe.
bag game. The bag game is a misleading AP game where there's actually no advantage there. That's just the
Okay.
bag's going to pop randomly. But the other ways, like the must hit buys, those are the ones I love to refer to the most because they're actually genuinely advantage play. Like you can sit there and make a calculation of each spin, how much you do, how much it goes up on the meter, and how far away you are. And if you do the proper calculations, I've done it. Most of the time, the numbers aren't right and the investment is stupid. Like Vegas Matt actually did a video on it where they're like, we're chasing this $10,000 thing. And they ended up spending $40,000 chasing the $10,000 thing. But they stuck with it because they've got the budget. I can't make those silly, degenerate gambler decisions. I would love to. That would be fun to make a video where I lose $40,000 chasing 10,000. Sure, that would be entertaining. And maybe hit it before I lose 40,000.
Did they not calculate it properly? Because must hit ones you can, like, they
I don't
actually
think
have.
they necessarily. I think the video I watched, that particular one, I believe they just sat down. I don't think they calculated.
Okay.
They weren't APing. They
was
were
just like a
just
maxed out-
having a good time, and they
maxed out
saw it was
jackpot or something.
close.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the must hit by, but it was
Okay.
like must hit by 10,000, and it was like 9,400.
Okay.
And that sounds close, but it's really not. When you're doing 1 cent per $50 spin or whatever they were doing, it was just you can make the calculations. I don't know if they did. If they did, obviously they were either wrong or they just didn't care.
Yeah.
And that at that level, what Matt's doing, regardless of losing 40,000, that video probably made him somewhere in that range back just for fun. And then all the other videos he does probably made him more of a profit based on his views, based on a lot of assumptions. I have not seen his numbers or their numbers, or EJ's. So maybe one day we'll meet up and we can talk about that. But I have a feeling they're very busy doing other gambling things. But yeah, you can find those, and I think the casino doesn't necessarily want you to see them very often, just because you have higher odds if you try to take advantage of the moment where it's closer to the must hit buy. I've certainly had a couple where I've sat down and so close, I just sit down and I hit it, and it's like must hit by 500, but it was like 498, and I'm like,
Wait a second.
did somebody walk by this and not know that they're basically $100 investment away from 500? Okay, if I have to, I'll do the calculator. But for some simple stuff where it's so close like that, I'm sitting down. I'm going to get that 500, and I usually do, as long as it's not a shared, wide area mini progressive. I don't know how that's labeled, but sometimes they'll have a 6-pack, and there's a must hit buy that's linked. So in that case, I've found it's a little more challenging because you'll sit down and 6 other people are fighting for that must hit buy. So that's, I think, the casino's sort of negotiation, if they want to have a bunch of those, is you'd have to have 6 friends there, and then you'd have to be pooling it through 6 I mean, there's a lot of logistics to try to basically make a small buck at a casino. I find it to be taxing and a little bit boring, in the sense of like, how much math do you want to do at a casino, unless it's positive, another 1,000, great, that's math I can do. Oh, look, it's this, and then I have to divide by this, and okay, Chat GPT could actually do it pretty easy for you now. It's on your phone, but still, like, come on.
Seems like a hard way to
make it more fun.
make money, but people love
But some
exploiting
people love it.
systems very much.
Yeah, some people are into it. So I also get a lot of roulette people. The casinos, there's nothing they do or don't want about it, because they're not even, the indie casinos aren't even using real balls, they're using cards. But people love roulette strategies, and I've tried them all.
Like betting system strategies. Or,
Yeah. There's a bunch of famous ones.
like martingale stuff.
Yeah, the martingale, and then just bet, on 2 and the 2/3, and then cover this, and then you only have 1 available, and the odds that happens. Anyway, I've done them all, and I've found a way to lose. So don't worry, they don't work. They're fun to play in a casino, actually.
They can be
That's
fun.
something
They can be fun.
the
to play.
casino embraces people who have those types of strategies on table games. I've talked to some of these executives. They can't wait for you to come in and try your strategy. Yeah, please come try it, as long as you're not literally counting cards or looking at the placement of the ball, which of course it's cards, so you can't really scam the wheel because it's just a card. They know that they're just gonna clean you out and you're going to try to get that strategy. And sure, you may win, but they also know you're greedy and you're already there and you've
The
had a
martingale is
cocktail
the
or two.
worst strategy. It's so not fun, and it's so
No.
stressful. It's the
Oh, it's
worst
so
idea.
scary. And the
Yeah.
payoff in the end is
I
just
know, you
barely
get
your
like
money back and you're
one
risking.
unit.
Yeah. The payoff, but the math doesn't math.
No.
That's all.
I guess I feel like there's a difference between like exploiting, the roulette wheel or like edge sorting or that kind of stuff versus advantage play where you're trying to, observe the state of a game, like in counting cards or in slots AP stuff.
Yeah. I mean, with tables, it's different. With slots, it's a small pool of AP that you're going to even try to get to.
Yeah.
So that's why there's so limited amounts. And also I find people don't want to play them when they reset. So there's moments of, people wanting to play the game and super hot, everybody's like, oh, I want to play it next. That person runs out. Okay. Next person sits down, boom, 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 boom. And then once it hits, it's like, just nothing. Nobody's there. Nobody wants to sit there. It's clearly reset. And nobody wants to hit, there's like gamble at something that hasn't even gone up $1. So if it hits by 500 but resets at 200, now we're at 201. It's like, well, I'm going to risk $100 to get $200 maybe. And we all know that thing, it randomly resets. Guess what? It randomly resets a $4.99 like 9 out of 10 times if I've ever seen it. There are obviously some outliers where that's not the case. And I have had some people tell me that they got, it's like a 10,000 one and it resets at, 9,000 and it hit at 9,003. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's the random math for you. It's never when I sit down.
When you talk about betting systems like martingale and these things they're just like patterns that kind of, you can manipulate the volatility of games, I guess, by using these kind of patterns. The odds will stay the same, but you can change the volatility of a game based on your betting pattern. There's some in slots that are really popular. I was talking to Gamble Smart to Dave about the 3 to 5 spins method or the 5 spins
Gamble
method.
Smart, Gamble Safe?
Yes. It's just called Gamble Smart now, though.
Oh, they changed it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know all the OG people all still call it that.
Yeah, it's sketchy.
Yeah. But, I think it's the same idea where you're not going to overcome the odds being, fixed odds. But there could be something to be said for like the entertainment value of just having kind of like a metagame that's not just you hitting the button forever, but you're interacting, you're making some decisions based on what's happening. What's your take on those kind of patterns? And do you see people maybe under the misconception that there are ways to identify a hot machine or stuff like that using methods like the 3 to 5 spins method?
Oh, gosh. Also another loaded question in certain respects. So do I see people taking advantage of that, I guess, is what you're asking? Sorry.
Well, I know like I see some slots influencers, maybe there's a spectrum of like how they represent this ability to spot hot or cold machines or what's really going on. And then also there's people like real players in the casino who like are under they think that it is a thing and they're actually using it erroneously. Do you see any of that, or what's your take on it?
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's similar to the lady I was telling you who was at the bar telling me, she came in with $100 each time and, made it always turn into money magically. And so, yeah, I see people who are either misinformed or, there's plenty of YouTube channels out there and I've met some, I've hung out with them. They have strategies and things like that. I mean, more power to them for coming up with something that's unique, that's different, that's not, the same cookie cutter thing. The tough part is when you're asked by your fans to specifically explain it and you can't, or you talk in kind of a bit of a circle where it's like, you didn't really explain what you meant and how is this possible, what you're saying. So like there can be that. It's both good and bad because I think, people need hope. Even especially gamblers, that's all we're running on is hope and dreams.
False hope
and so
is not as good as hope. No.
True, but if you don't know it's false in the moment, it's hope. And that's the thing about why some of the channels, I think they could be a little misleading, but I think overall, like, what are you going to do? Like, it's not my channel. I've spoken to them most of the time. I express like, hey, just so you know, from my opinion, from my experiences, which is a lot, I don't personally buy into it. But, if you have something that's interesting that you have an audience for and they dig it, great, good. run with it, good. Like that's cool. Like I didn't think of that, and nor would I do it. I find it to be too challenging to teach people this type of thing that is really, really hard to do because it's almost not possible.
I think
So
technically not possible, probably.
yeah, technically
Unless
not
you're talking about
possible.
this AP stuff that you meant that
Right,
you
right,
touched
which
on
is
a bit.
not what a
Yeah.
lot of these channels are. They're mostly like they'll sort of like I'm trying to think of his name. He says just like that all the time.
Like D-Lucky Experience or
Be lucky.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you can have it where he's not necessarily saying it's advantage or he has a skill.
Not
He sort of is, but
necessarily
sort of
saying
isn't.
it.
Yeah, it's a it's wishy-washy because in his statements, if you look on his pages, it says like,
Sure.
or his responses, he says, yes, I do not post all the losers. I'm posting the winners. He said it at one point. So I took that and I was like, okay, at least he's upfront about it. At least when you push him on it, when you look at the channel, it's not the first thing you read, which I get, that's going to deter a lot of people if they instantly read, hey, this is not exact, this is edited so you only see the good stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't pick on him too much because there's a lot of other channels that aren't as popular that do just that, is they just literally post all their wins, and that's fine too. Like everybody's got a strategy. Whether or not I think it's good for the people and the viewers who are watching and giving them that false hope, that's the part where I'm like, oh, I wish it wouldn't happen like that, because then I have to have these long conversations explaining how it's whatever it is they heard from whoever they heard it from is BS, or just not informed enough to know that that's just not how this is all working. These are computers. They've been preset. Nobody's going in there with a screwdriver and changing it because you just won a jackpot. Like they don't have time for that. The machines sit there and make money every day, $100, $200, $500 just by sitting there and having people like us walk by and shove in money. They don't need to cheat. The cheat is owning the casino. They always win. Like it's a great,
It would be a bigger risk to cheat.
investment.
It'd be a bigger risk to cheat than not to cheat, right?
Why would they cheat? They're already winning. I could see if they were losing money and they needed to cheat in order to keep the doors open or something. But then there's still regulations. There's people are going to catch them, and they don't want that. And then that's bad for your branding and this and that. So I think it's a bit unnecessary. But if people like it, then watch the videos.
People are so susceptible to this idea that you can increase your chances of winning. It seems people are just so fertile for that kind of hope that that's
Well, it's the
possible.
age of YouTubers. Is back in the day, I wouldn't trust anything on the internet if I saw a video and it's like, this is how you set up, a doghouse in your backyard. Step 1, blah blah blah. I would be like, they don't know what they're talking about. Nowadays, socially, it's way more acceptable. If you've got a question before ChatGPT, you would go to YouTube to watch the instruction video.
Totally.
And because maybe they have a check mark. Oh, well, they're verified. They must be telling the truth. No, I don't know. Not necessarily. So obviously building a doghouse is not the same as slots, but if you compare it, it's like, will I trust this person and what they say? And some people build that trust long enough where, the creator may not necessarily care if they flub it a little bit and say something that may not be true, but get some more clicks.
Yeah,
It's a debate we could probably go in circles about for hours, but
I think it is the case that
Yeah.
YouTube and social media, the algorithm and platform incentivizes people towards less responsible behavior, showing mostly wins, betting really high, playing for a long time, all this kind of stuff. It's it's kind of stacked to push people, to push creators towards that, because that's what gets the most views.
Yeah, and I think I found my bit of a niche of posting loser videos and getting hundreds of thousands of views on those videos. Luckily, part of the packaging is, for me, finding the best part about the video, not the whole video. Obviously, I think that one that has 200, 300,000 views, I lost a couple $100, but something unique happened that hasn't happened before, and I caught it on video, and that's the part I concentrate on, is the unique part that's interesting. I'm not necessarily saying I'm a big winner or a loser in the thumbnail. You can maybe make assumptions, but I'm not saying it because I don't want it to be clickbaity. I want it to be intriguing and make you wonder, is that what's going on? Or I want people to jump to conclusions without me getting them there. I want them to think it up. And that way, if they don't get the conclusion that they want, it's not like I misled them. I just showed you a picture of a bunch of buffalo. I didn't say, I didn't say I have a bit of a rule. I count the amount of buffalo in the screen during, like for whatever thumbnail I'm doing, I will make sure to put that same amount of buffalo, even if they're not in the same order, in the same pattern, because sometimes I'll change it depending on where the coins are placed. It's a lot of unnecessary thinking perhaps on my part, or necessary thinking. I don't know.
Just so it
A lot of
aligns
trial and error.
so people's expectation is aligned with what they're going to get in more ways.
Yeah, because I don't want to say, massive win, but like it's almost a full screen of buffalo and the total net profit is $200. I'm going to get a lot of shit for that. So my viewers are going to break my balls a little bit and be like, come on, the whole screen of buffalo, you got triple sunsets. I didn't see triple sunsets in there. What are we doing here? And it's so I feel like I have to hold up some level of reliability, trustworthiness, believability of like, okay, like he said this, I believe him, I'm going to click. And then by the time they watch it, they go, okay, no, there was 10 buffaloes in there. They're not in the same order. And maybe, massive win is, by your own personal opinion, it was only $500 or $1,000. I think a massive win's $10,000. So I can get a lot of feedback
Kind
on
of
things like
balancing
that.
reality versus trying to get people's attention with the thumbnail and title and stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, making it nice and clean and clear is one of my goals, where if it's not the best result, at least it's clear. You can see what's going on. There's some coinage, there's some buffalo. Okay, a couple sunsets. Great. I'll click it. Give it a try.
This has been such a cool conversation, and it's so easy to chat about stuff that we're both excited about. Before we wrap things up, because I know we're reaching a bit of a time here, I was curious if you have anything on the horizon or anything happening with your channel that you want to give us a heads up about and help people have a reason to go check out your channel and what's going on.
Well, sure. I mean, there's this thing we're talking about after this, actually.
Yeah.
I'm happy to mention it.
Yeah, if you're comfortable doing it, let's talk about it.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, nothing's set in stone yet, but I'm excited about the possibility of being a person who can give away a 1 in 500 chance to give away $1 million in cash. That's pretty exciting.
It's gonna be a little teaser, because we're going to be releasing lots more content about it, but I'm so excited to work with you on it. And for people that want to learn more, keep an eye on Dan's channel and SlotsFan channel. And it's it's a massive slots tournament in the Bahamas later this year. Like you said, $1 million first place prize, but 500 trips being given away for free for 4 nights at Atlantis. You and a +1 and a 1 in 500 chance of winning $1 million. And I think even the top 20 spots pay in this tournament. I know I'm going to have to talk to you a lot more about it.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a lot more details for everybody once everything's finalized. But maybe
I was excited to hear about it when you presented the idea. And I've been saying no to pretty much everybody who's come to me with any kind of offer, because I don't really want to push much aside from just keep watching my videos and maybe buy, some of my merch or whatever. But being able to give back to my viewers in some respect, where they might have a life-changing thing happen because of my involvement, gets me very excited. So.
Well, I'm excited for the chance to work with you and to share more details about this very soon. So everyone keep an eye out for that. That's a great reason to subscribe to Dan's channel right there, because he's going to be announcing lots more stuff about this big giveaway that we're doing. So on that note, Dan, thank you so much for all your time. It's always a pleasure having you on the show. We're big fans of your channel. It's awesome to see all the success that you're having, and having followed you for a long time. Totally deserved. I know how hard you work and how passionate you are about this and about your content. So it's wonderful to see the success that
borderline obsessed. Yeah.
I think that's what it takes to, that's kind of what
it
takes.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
the whole system is designed to make you obsessed and crazy about it, right? Like it's so.
Well, I'm a sucker. I'm right in there. I'm obsessed and thinking about it when I go to sleep and when I wake up, and even right now. Thinking about YouTube.
Okay. Well, why don't we leave it there? Like we've said 1,000 times, please subscribe to Dan's channel. And while you're at it, please subscribe to the SlotsFan channel. We appreciate everyone's support so much. And just like Dan is so dedicated to his audience, we care so much about the chance to bring you guys entertainment and also education. So Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I really look forward to all the work that we're going to do together, and also having you back on the show to check in sometime soon.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, man.